Hey everybody. So in the first video, we learned about what standard form for the equation of a circle is, how to find the radius, then we worked with distance and midpoint formula. In this video, I'm going to show you how to find the center and the radius for an equation that is not in standard form. So standard form of the equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. If I look at this very first example, it's not set up in that way at all. So we're going to go through and I'm going to show you how to put it in standard form. So here we go. So the directions say find the center and radius not in standard form. We're given x squared plus y squared minus 8x plus 12y minus 12 equals 0. So that definitely is very far away from standard form for a circle. So the first thing we want to do is group together our x's, group together our y's, and then move our constants to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to put my x squares together. So x squared minus, so I'm putting the x's together. Then I'm going to put the y's together. And then a constant is just a number. I'm going to move that to the other side of my equation. So this is negative 12, so I'm going to add 12 to both sides. So now this is equal to 12. So step one, put your x's beside each other, put your y's beside each other, and then move your constant, which is just going to be your number, move that to the other side of the equation. Now I'm going to bring up completing the square. So it's been a very long time since we've done that. So I am going to complete the square so that I can put this in standard form. So we're going to find the missing number here. We're going to find the missing number here. So we're going to complete the square twice. So I like to put my steps off to the side when I complete the square. When you complete the square, you take half of the middle number and then square that number. So half of negative 8 is negative 4. And I'm going to square that number. Negative 4 squared is 16. So I'm going to add 16 in this spot right there. Then I got to do it again. So this one here, I'm going to do that up here. So step one, take half of the middle number, which is 12. So half the middle number is 6. And then step two, I'm going to square 6. 6 times 6 is 36. So I'm going to add 36 here. Now, you have to keep the equation balanced whenever you're completing the square. So since I added 16 on the left side, I need to add 16 on the right side. Since I added 36 on the left side, I need to add 36 on the right side. Now, this is the completing the square part. Take half the middle number and square that number. And make sure you keep your equation balanced, so we had to add it to both sides of our equation. Now, I'm going to factor this part. This part factors into x minus 4 squared. How do I know that? Because I'm trying to think of two numbers that multiply to give me 16, add to give me negative 8. Those two numbers are negative 4. And if you flash back a very long time ago, I told you when you complete the square, if you get stuck factoring, it'll always be the first number here. So likewise, when I do my y's, this is going to factor into y plus 6 squared. Again, I know that because I'm trying to think of two numbers that multiply to give me 36 and add to give me 12. And if you get stuck factoring, it'll always be your number one when you do this part up here. I use a calculator. I add all this up, 12 plus 16 plus 36. I got 64. Now my circle is in standard form. I have my equation written in standard form. I know my center. I can read off the center. The center is 4, negative 6. And I know my radius. I can take the square root of 64, and the square root of 64 is 8. And ta-da, we are finished with this problem. We have found the center and the radius, and it was not in standard form. We went through, we put it in standard form so that we can easily read off the center and easily read off the radius. All right, let's go through and do another one. So it's not going to be in standard form. We're going to go through. We're going to have to repeat this process all over again. So here's the second one that we're working with. So x squared plus y squared plus 4x minus 10y minus 7 equals 0. Step one, put your x's together, put your y's together, and move that number to the other side of the equal sign. So I got x squared. I'm going to put my two x's beside each other. I'm going to put my two y's beside each other, and make sure they're go like x squared and then the linear term, y squared and then the linear term. This -7 needs to go to the other side. So any number that you have goes to the right-hand side, any constant that you have. So make sure this is your structure when you're setting it up. X squared, x, y squared number. Now we are going to complete the square. So we're going to leave a little space. Leave a little space. All right, good idea. Not going to hurt you to put your steps over to the side. It'll help you factoring. It'll help you remember your steps for completing the square. So we're going to take half the middle number. 4 is the middle number, so half of that is going to be 2. Square that number. 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm going to add 4 here. And we know we got to keep our equation balanced. So since I added 4 on the left side, I got to add 4 on the right side. Y squared minus 10y. I need to complete the square for that. Step 1, take half of the middle number, which is -5. And I'm going to square that number. -5 times -5 is 25. So I got to add 25 here, and I got to add 25 here. Now we go through and we factor this, and it should factor into the same thing twice. That's the whole purpose of completing the square. So this is going to factor into x plus 2 squared. Again, if you get stuck factoring, it's number 1 when you write out your steps. And over here, y minus 5 squared. And it's number 1 if you get stuck. Add all that together, 7 plus 4 plus 25, I got 36. It will not always turn out to be a perfect square number. So these two that I've chosen have worked out to be a perfect square number, but it will not always be that way. So it's okay to get a square root or something right here. Just keep it in your problems. Just keep right on going. So there's nothing wrong if this number does not turn out to be a square root, a perfect square number, I mean. So my center, I can read it off. My center is -2, 5. And my radius, square root of 36, is 6. So again, what I was saying before, the first two ones that we've done, let me zoom out just a little bit, turn out to be perfect square numbers. Square root of 64 is 8. Square root of 36 is 6. But if this number was not a perfect square number, that's okay. So if it was like 30, you would just leave the radius as the square root of 30. If it was 41, you would just leave the radius as the square root of 41. So don't feel like it always has to be a perfect square number. So just like that, we were able to take an equation that was really kind of weird, and we were able to put it in standard form so that we had our equations for our circles. And now you're all good to go. So don't forget completing the square.